don't you think there's need to amend the constitution, provide a leverage for states to, take advantage of the resources in the area? There's this argument, which is what is leading to this hostility.
No, I think I mentioned that earlier. I'm saying that for now, is a tall order, but there's a need to pull some of these items from the exclusive list into the concurrent list, even up to the residual list, so that those resources can be exploited by state government and see how we can unbundle the too much responsibility that is at the center. In that regard, yes, there's a need, but there's a constitutional provision that must, like in recent time, the issues of power generation has been dealt with. That has been moved from the exclusive list into the concurrent list. So states can now generate power and put that on the national grid. So we expect that to happen in solid mineral. And the issues of resource control, there has been a major debate vis-a-vis the concept of federalism will always be a major issue. You talk about devolution of power, not just power alone. You should devolve resources to federation units to have access and just pay tax at the center. And this were what happened during the period where we practice regionalism in Nigeria, where various regions have access to their resources, they mine their resources, and they pay taxes to the center. I think federalism in Nigeria is a work in progress, and I think in the nearest future, the clamor to move solid mineral in particular, in this case, into the concurrent list, if possible, into the residual list as well.
With the present structure, what the minister is even saying is that states can even engage in mining. They can be a player, a stakeholder in that sector, but they have to follow due process, and obtain license, because they don't have the power. Now, the clarity is the states don't have power to ban mining, but they can be a player in that sector. They engage in that business by following due processes and obtaining license. Even there are private individuals too who can also engage in mining, but what is required is you have to go through due processes and then obtain the license. But to go the route of banning, mining, which is what the minister is talking about.
I want to look at it first from the reason why states want to ban mining. What activities have been ongoing to necessitate banning? So I think that's what the Ministry of Solid Minerals should first of all look at, because they're at the federal level. Are they in every state where mining activities are ongoing to monitor what actually happens? The mining activity could be constituting nuisance and creating security threats and tensions around the state.
Especially the activities of illegal miners.
Yes, to make state governments want to ban the activities so that it doesn't result to a situation where there are loss of lives and even property. So I think that they should also be alive to their responsibilities. For every state where mining activities are ongoing, then the ministry should have a strong presence there to oversee what exactly goes on there. Because if you're far from there and then the activities is creating some tension, then the state governments have no option than to wade in. And wading in may mean outright ban. So yes, good enough, they talked about procedures. I think they should work in collaboration, so it doesn't seem like one is a power tussle, one is trying to lord it over the other, but collaboration is needed and they need to do more monitoring.
I even believe instead of going the route of banning, it's just to ban, the outright, mining business in those states. What they should do is to look at how they can control the activities of illegal miners. That should be the focus, because you can't say because you want to stop illegal miners from coming to those areas. You can't also stop those who want to do business legitimately, from doing business. Those who have the licenses, they have to operate in that sector. Those who have followed the due process, they ought to do business because they are paid for those things and they need to make money and they need to make these things available. So if the focus is to curb the activities of illegal miners, then they need to go another route by partnering with security agencies, even with the traditional rulers and the local in that area, to provide a collaborative effort for them to be able to curtail the activity of this illegal miner? Because you agree with me, they know them. And some of these people are on ground, they know the terrain, so it's easier for them to collaborate with security agencies and even provide what we call native intelligence for the security agencies to be able to cover the activities of these miners. So I think this should be the focus rather than going the route that they don't have.
Yes, I agree, but they may also have resorted to that because since the state government did not issue the license, to curtail the activities may be difficult. So how do you give instructions to people that you did not bring in the first place? So it may just be as a thing of, oh, nobody minds. Totally. So that now draws the attention of the federal authority to say, okay, what is going on here? So collaboration will be best so that they know exactly what happens. The state governments may have done that as maybe one way to just shut everything down, pending when things are done rightly.
Let me bring Sam into this. What do you think can still be done to curtail the activities of illegal miners who are constituting threat in that industry?
I think the Ministry of Solid Mineral must be up and doing in terms of how they can sanitize that industry. I know they have issued a lot of licenses to people to exploit those minerals, but essentially, who are the major player in that industry in particular? When you make a comparison between oil and gas, where you have a major player, I think they just need to clean that. They need to update their seismic data analysis and find a way. I do know that the minister had some discussion with some major mineral companies in his recent engagement outside Nigeria. They should bring major players and find a way to sanitize the illegal mining that is so pervasive in that industry. Let's just clean it up, just like oil and gas, and see how we can pull more resources from that sector. Then in terms of their locational agencies, they should be up and doing, and like Blessing mentioned earlier, there should be more collaboration. Some states have even units or departments or ministries of solid minerals. So to what extent can they collaborate to see how they can even get partners to exploit and giving licenses to major stakeholders in that industry to reduce this illegal mining that has been so pervasive, particularly in solid mineral.